Here.
This great miracle still being celebrated today. But Rabbi Javier Carapan says that Hanukkah is not the most important holiday of the year for Jewish people.
I think this has become a way for the Jewish community to have some kind of a celebration at the same time.
He says this celebration is about bringing light into the world by living a Jewish lifestyle.
Which means that you live a life of service to your community and to the world by improving the world and trying to leave it better than you found it.
But that's easier said than done, as violence takes no holiday.
The attacks on October 7th, 2023 happened on the Jewish holiday, which is one of the most joyful Jewish holidays. It's called Simchat Torah, which means the rejoicing in the Torah, of the Torah.
Rabbi Carapan says his congregation ends every weekly service with a prayer for the Middle East.
Every time we have a Jewish holiday or a Jewish gathering, we remember that there's still a war going on and that we need to continue to pray for peace. Blessed are you, Adonai, our God, who has hallowed us with your commandments and instructed us to light the lights of Hanukkah.
And among their prayers are those to freely practice their Jewish religion.
This is one of the messages of Hanukkah, to be able to live as Jews freely. That is something that we want for everybody.
According to the lunar cycles which guide the Jewish calendar, Hanukkah and Christmas will only again coincide twice over the next 30 years, in 2035 and 2054. So until then, this is Olivia Yatuma uniquely wishing you both a Merry Christmas and a Happy Hanukkah.
All right, Olivia, thank you. It's 6:08 still ahead this morning.
And the post-holiday return rush is here, but it comes as major retailers like Amazon are making changes to their gift return policies. What you need to know before sending your unwanted items back.
And we are tracking some areas of fog and drizzle on this Thursday morning. Coming up, a preview of a warm-up heading into the weekend. That's as Fox 17 Morning News continues.
Gotta get to birthdays. Happy birthday to London. We hope it's a good one. Abigail, you are 5 years old, and I love that Christmas tree. Hope you got lots of presents. Clay, also 5 years old. Happy birthday, buddy. Vivian is 5 years old. A lot of 5-year-olds today. Zoe, 12 years old, cheering her way into a new year. Happy birthday to you. Sanaya is 6 years old. Love the peace sign. And Leo, how cute to see 2 years old. Love the overalls, buddy. All right, if your child has a birthday coming up, send it to us mornings at fox17online.com.
To our top stories this morning, major retailers will be closing some of their doors in 2025 as consumer and shopping habits are changing. Macy's, Walmart, Starbucks, Walgreens, and Dollar Tree are among the brands shutting down multiple locations. Walgreens plans to close 500 locations next year, and Macy's will be closing its doors at 65 locations by the end of this year. Businesses are attributing the shutdowns to a changing industry, high operation costs, and unmet financial performance expectations.
Over in New York City, 6 people are injured after they were hit by a taxi on Christmas Day. This happened in Herald Square, which is a crowded spot right near the Macy's there. A 9-year-old boy was among the 3 hospitalized. The other 3 people refusing medical attention. 58-year-old driver was evaluated by authorities. No word yet on what might have led up to that incident. No arrests have been made.
And if you still need a last-minute holiday gift, you might want to consider a Mega Millions lottery ticket. The jackpot is Friday and expected to soar past $1 billion after there was no grand prize winner in the Christmas Eve drawing. The lottery said its jackpot soared past $1 billion for the 8th time in the game's 20-year history. That would be a cash prize of more than $516 million.
Well, it might not have been much of a white Christmas, but that is no issue up at Cabernet Peaks Ski Resort, where some homemade snow, just as good. It's helping winter sports enthusiasts hit the slopes. I know a lot of people love to do that around the holidays. It's kind of like a family tradition. Hey, Let's go hit the slopes. Yeah. Let's get in the winter holiday spirit. Here in West Michigan was not quite the case.
No, unfortunately, Santa brought you maybe cross-country skis or snowshoes.
Gonna have to wait
or a brand new snowmobile. Yeah, you have to find some other place.
Yeah, my nephew got a pickleball paddle, and we were able to play yesterday.
There you go. And how'd you do?
He has a strong forehand, so
Okay,
there's a
yeah.
lot of defending.
Yeah, I
so.
always just say I love pickleball because any game that tells me to stay out of the kitchen
Yes.
is the game that I like.
Perfect.
I like
Easy.
it. Exactly. Yeah, literally and figuratively. Hey, we are looking at the meltdown continuing. I love that Elliot is matching the forecast. Yes, gray is the color of the day. Unfortunately, when it comes to West Michigan's weather, looking out over the heart of the city, downtown Grand Rapids, and even a little bit murky here and there. Some patchy fog and some patchy drizzle across the region. We topped out at 34 degrees for our Christmas day, a degree below average, but with some sunshine. We did continue that meltdown, and that really is going to be the big story over the next several days. Even warmer air building in as we head through the next several days. In fact, high temps today in the low 40s, mid 40s tomorrow. And we're going to make a run at 50 degrees here as we head through the day on Saturday. The pattern does start shifting to colder weather beginning New Year's Day. But again, that takes most folks through the majority of their Christmas week holiday stretch. Temperatures outside areas north and east of Grand Rapids still around or a little bit below freezing. That's where we could see some patchy freezing drizzle, so keep that in mind for your morning commute. Otherwise, 34 degrees in Lansing, Grand Rapids 35 in Muskegon, a balmy 42 degrees now in Benton Harbor. As you can see here regionally, most of the precip here, very light, is green as indicated, so that is just liquid precip, but those areas off to the north, central and northern Montcalm County, Newaygo County, up toward the Cadillac area. If you happen to be traveling northward, keep in mind you certainly could be looking at a few slippery spots. Now there's some heavier rain off to our south, and as we move through the next several days, we're going to see waves of rain come through, steadier and heavier precipitation starting to develop. Here's a look at later on this evening, some widespread rain starting to develop during the overnight period. Then we'll start out the day tomorrow with at least a few dry hours, more rain building in as we head into the Friday afternoon and into the evening hours. And as you can see, more in the way of wet weather will be rolling in as we head into late Friday night. Most of our Saturday looks to be dry, but temperatures once again still above average. In fact, as we look at that super 7-day planner, you'll see not only are we looking at daytime highs above average, those early morning low temperatures won't even be as cold as the freezing mark until we get into Tuesday night and Wednesday morning of next week. And of course, this is New Year's Eve, New Year's Day. At this point, no major storms are on the horizon for the early part of next week, so that'll be good news for travelers for New Year's Eve and New Year's Day. But we are looking at temperatures that will finally be returning to near normal levels in the Great Lakes region as the 8 to 14-day outlook shows that warmer than average air building across the southwestern United States, the Ohio and Tennessee River valleys down to the southeast, looking at colder than average temps. So if you're heading down to Florida for the beginning of the new year, looks as though it's going to be some chilly air that you will be contending with, or the Carolinas, Georgia, down to Mississippi and Alabama. As we take a look here at the Great Lakes region, you can see we're going to be closer to average with our temperatures as we head into that first full week of January. So temps in the low to mid 30s for highs, lows in the 20s. That'll be cold enough, hopefully, for those ski hills to start making more snow.
Lots of folks maybe enjoying their new holiday gifts this morning, but others maybe not so much.
Yeah, the week following Christmas is the biggest week of returns in the U.S., and this year some major retailers are making some major changes to their return policies. Dan Grossman has a list of things you should keep an eye on.
Companies like Amazon, Target, and REI are changing up who can return items and how they return them. It's to combat tens of billions of dollars worth of fraud that happen to companies every year. And while you at home might not be trying to game the system, these changes might affect how you return items as well. Two things can be true. You can be a good person and still feel a ping of disappointment when you unwrap your Christmas gift. To find Dear Aunt Sally got you a light-up Christmas sweatshirt that says Santa's VIP. You feign excitement, thank her because she has a huge heart, and pray there's a receipt so you can go to the store and return it. If you do that, though, keep an eye out for some changes to those return policies. In June, Amazon added processing fees for high return items. That charge varies as it's based on an item's popularity and how often it's returned. But good news, shoes and apparel are accepted because of sizing issues, so you can still get rid of that sweatshirt without a penalty. Outdoor retailer REI also announced it could refuse a return, but that's limited to frequent returners. The company says the changes will affect only 0.02% of members who show a pattern of policy abuse. Similar changes are at Target, which announced it reserves the right to also refuse refunds suspected of fraud. The changes come as cases of fraud have increased in recent years. The National Retail Federation estimates return scams cost retailers over $100 billion in 2023 alone. That's after $743 billion in items were returned. By the end of 2024, the group estimates that number will rise to nearly $900 billion. According to the software company Elite Extra, the handling cost of every return for a company is roughly 17% of the purchase cost. So for every $100 in accepted returns, a company loses $17. Dan Grossman, Scripps News, Denver.
And stick around. Coming up in our next half hour, John Matarese will have tips to help make the return process maybe a little smoother. That way you don't waste your money. We all need that this time of year. Hopefully you got everything you wanted.
Yes, we did.
You're like,
maybe one. Just kidding.
Don't say it. No, I'm just kidding. All right, it's 6:20. Still ahead this morning.
A major hockey tournament is coming to Grand Rapids this weekend. Coming up in your morning sports report, you'll see how local teams are getting ready to take the ice for the Great Lakes Invitational.
The Great Lakes Invitational is one of the best college hockey tournaments in the entire country. It's been played since 1965. For a third year in a row, it'll be held on the west side of the state at Van Andel Arena. A great field once again, including the 6th-ranked Broncos.
Exceptionally proud. We have 16 new players, 10 freshmen, 6 transfers. That's a lot of new players out of 27. And the groups come together so quickly and played so well. And I think that's a big testament to our leadership. Tim Wash has done a great job of bringing this group together on and off the ice.
A great start to the year for Western Michigan, headlined by a win over Michigan. WMU is 10-3-1 heading into the GLI.
Yeah, I think we had some success in the GLI over the years, so it's a tournament that we're excited about to play in. Our fans are excited to watch us play. There's some great competition up there.
The GLI is becoming a West Michigan staple and great showcase for Western Michigan. A tournament close to home and top-tier competition, including a potential championship game against the #1 ranked Spartans.
We're excited to have it back on this side of the state, and it lends itself with Michigan State and us, and Michigan Tech always brings a great crowd no matter what, and then whatever other team is in there on any given year, the crowds have been great there. It's been a fantastic experience for our players.
That was our sports director, Thomas Cook, reporting there. Western Michigan back on the ice today, getting set for the Great Lakes Invitational. That puck drops on Sunday. 6:25 on your Thursday, still ahead this morning.
Well, a new report finds 2024 was a tough year for workers. What factors led to overall employee dissatisfaction, hitting to an all-time record low?
Plus, whooping cough continues to surge across the country, and here in our state, we'll hear which age group makes up more than half of the reported cases in our state, and a warning coming from doctors.
And even though we have been unseasonably warm and melted away a lot of the snowpack, we do have good skiing conditions at a lot of area ski hills. Up at Nubs Knob, 6 lifts are open, 35 runs. At Boyne Mountain, 6 lifts are open now, 28 trails. And a little closer to home, we do have reports of some decent ski conditions as those area ski hills have been able to make snow, even though Mother Nature hasn't really given us a whole lot of it as of late. Coming up, we'll talk about the warming trend that continues to build as we head into the weekend.
Now on Fox 17 Morning News, new concerns surrounding the bird flu. It's infected hundreds of cattle herds across the country and here in Michigan. Now it's impacting other animals too. What experts are saying about the spread.
And a massive and deadly plane crash overseas, what experts say may have caused that disaster in Kazakhstan that killed nearly 40 people.
And time is running out for TikTok. The social platform is set to shut down next month, but a key hearing could keep it on your phone. We'll break down how the U.S. Supreme Court is getting involved.
You're watching Fox 17 Morning News.
I don't want it to be banned, but it would be one less thing for me to scroll through.
Yeah.
It's like some days exactly. I'm like, what am I doing?
Yeah,
I just spent 45 minutes and it just
went
like that. So anyways, good morning, everybody. Happy day after Christmas, and of course, this is officially the second day of Hanukkah as well. So hope everyone's had a great start to your day. We're dragging it a little bit. I think I had too much
sugar. We were talking about that.
Sugar, too much everything.
Too much holiday food.
We were talking. I was like, I went back for like 5 helpings of. My mom made this beef that was really good.
Okay. Well,
so I had it for breakfast. So.
Yeah, we did barbecue, ribs and chicken on the grill because the back deck. No snow left over, so you can actually
come over next year because that sounds delicious.
That sounds delicious, yeah. And I've got to figure out that New Year's Eve menu.
Yeah.
So, what are you thinking?
Maybe steak.
Steak and lobster.
We usually do that. That's
How about
champagne.
That? Yeah.
Sure.
Yes,
we know that's going to happen.
And that'll be enough to have you drag, and hopefully you're not working on New Year's Day.
Yes, I am off New Year's Day, so we should
there
be
you
good.
go. Well, we are looking at continuation of this unseasonably warm weather. I feel so bad for winter weather enthusiasts who have so much been looking forward to enjoying the fresh snow. We've gotten a lot of snow so far this season, more than 30 inches officially, but it's been followed quickly, all these snow events, by warm air surges, which has created the perfect recipe for meltdowns to occur. And speaking of meltdowns, today we do have the melting of the snowpack that's still left over, contributing a lot of low-level moisture to the ground, and that is also creating a few visibility issues. So some pockets of fog here and there across West Michigan. Also areas to the north of Grand Rapids, temperatures are still a little below freezing, so we've got fog and drizzle. 34 in downtown Grand Rapids, so pavement just wet on area roads from Grand Rapids to the south. Places like Ionia, Portland, Saranac, up toward Greenville, Carson City, Big Rapids, Hart, Cadillac, and off to the north. We've got some freezing drizzle being reported, so that's something certainly to consider if you're traveling to the north. Temperatures are going to warm up very quickly, though. Over the next couple of hours, we should add a degree or two to where we are at now. So any of those areas to the north with freezing drizzle currently, that will become just plain old drizzle. And actually, most of the day will end up being dry with highs in the low 40s. We'll look at that 7-day forecast, the warmer weekend weather coming up in about 10 minutes.
Well, whooping cough continues to surge across the country, and here in Michigan, this morning the number of reported cases are the highest they've been in a decade.
Yeah, according to the CDC, there's been over 32,000 cases reported so far this year. That's about 6 times more than what we saw this time last year. So here in our own state, the Department of Health and Human Services says over half of the state's cases are in school-aged children, and 2/3 of the cases are in unvaccinated people or people who were vaccinated more than 5 years ago. Symptoms pretty similar to the common cold, but then a painful body cough can develop that lasts for weeks or even months. State Health Department also says it's not just whooping cough that's on the rise. Flu, COVID-19, measles, and RSV cases also climbing, which are all vaccine-preventable diseases. Meanwhile, bird flu, that's still having an impact on our country's poultry, cattle, and dairy farms.
That's right, but as Reed Binen reports, it's affecting other animals too and continuing to worry health experts.
Over 125 million domestic poultry have been either culled or died as a consequence of this virus over the last year.
Concern over bird flu is growing among some health experts.
This bird virus, H5N1, is circulating widely in domestic poultry and on dairy farms.
One point of concern is the spread of the disease in cattle.
Hundreds of dairy herds have been infected.
Nearly 900 herds across 16 states have tested positive.
And there have only been 65 human infections, which is excellent news.
The disease prompted a Portland-based pet food company to issue a nationwide voluntary recall after a house cat in Oregon died from eating one of its products, which tested positive for bird flu. Meanwhile, in neighboring Washington state, bird flu killed more than half the big cats at a sanctuary.
We've lost 20 cats due to this virus or symptoms thereof, this bird flu virus. And you think hopefully it's a bad dream, but it's not.
It's unknown just how the animals contracted the virus. I'm Reed Binion reporting.
Developing overseas, at least 29 people survived a fiery plane crash in Kazakhstan Christmas Day. The plane bursting into flames as it hit the ground. But in a twist of fate, some survivors then started emerging from the wreckage shortly after.
really fought, pilots really fought with this plane for some time and then did a figure 8 before landing. They did 2 circles and then tried to land. So it appeared that they were trying to gain control of this aircraft and really put quite a fight up.
Cameras catching the plane's drop and fiery crash landing. You see it right there. It was carrying 62 passengers, 5 crew members at the time. Authorities say at least 38 on board killed. Russia's aviation watchdog says the pilot probably made that emergency landing after a bird strike, but the Kazakh government is now investigating the cause of that crash.
This wasn't something that happened and then the plane was brought down. For example, on landing, you hit a flock of birds. And the altitude makes me wonder, would the birds been at that altitude?
Again, 29 survivors pulled from the wreckage. 2 are children, but the survivors have all been taken to the hospital. This morning, everyone on board has been accounted for.
Meanwhile, after nearly 3 years of heavy battles and mass strikes, Russia's full-scale war against Ukraine continues. And the latest attack came on Christmas Day. Yesterday, Russia launched cruise and ballistic missiles at Ukraine's energy system in the Kursk region. President Volodymyr Zelensky responded, saying Russia made a, quote, conscious choice to launch attacks on Christmas, calling the move inhumane. Many experts here at home are agreeing with the sentiment.
I do think it's inhuman to choose this particular day, but that's not unusual for Vladimir Putin.
In Ukraine's capital city of Kyiv, air raid alerts lasting nearly 3 hours did not stop believers from attending Christmas morning mass. In the meantime, President-elect Donald Trump vowed on the campaign trail to end the war in Eastern Europe on day 1. Inauguration Day is now just 26 days away.
Over in Israel, people held a silent protest in Tel Aviv for those still being held in Gaza. Family members and supporters of hostages gathering near the defense ministry last night, dressed in all white for the quiet vigil. After months of deadlock, the U.S., Qatar, and Egypt have now resumed their mediation efforts, hoping to reach a deal, putting a stop to the war. A new agreement would include a halt in fighting and exchange of captive Israeli hostages for Palestinian prisoners and more aid to the Gaza Strip. In consumer news this morning, 2025 is almost here, but you won't see some shop locations opening in the new year.
That's right. Major retailers are closing some of their doors as consumer and shopping habits are changing. Macy's, Walmart, Starbucks, Walgreens, and Dollar Tree are among the brands shutting down some stores. Next year, 500 Walgreens locations will shut down. Meanwhile, Macy's will have 65 locations closed by the end of this year. The companies are blaming it on a changing industry, high operation costs, and unmet financial performance expectations.
And despite low unemployment, a new Gallup report highlights some very real challenges facing workplaces in the new year. They found overall employee satisfaction returned to an all-record low. According to that report, more people are now looking for new jobs, but quit rates, those haven't gone up. Gallup says that means workers are staying put in their current roles, even though that they feel disconnected from their jobs.
And if you're documenting your days on TikTok, use it while you can. The social media app could be forced to shut down next month. Earlier this year, Congress, with bipartisan support, voted to ban TikTok by January 19th unless it's sold off. Critics say there are national security concerns, and the app gives the Chinese government too much influence in the U.S. Now the Supreme Court says it will hear TikTok's appeal, saying this could be a First Amendment issue. The hearing would take place on January 10th, just days before the ban goes into effect.
We'll take a look at TikTok. You know, I have a warm spot in my heart for TikTok because I won youth by 34 points. And there are those that say that TikTok had something to do with that.
Worth noting, Trump's claim that he won the youth vote is false. Exit polls and the authoritative Tufts analysis showed voters under 30 favored Harris. Even so, after taking office, the president can only do so much, and many in Congress remain concerned. There may be buyers here for TikTok, but the parent company has made it clear ownership shouldn't change. Now time now is 6:40 and still ahead.
I'm John Matarese. You have all the gifts. Now it's time to start thinking about returns. I'll show you what you need to know about store return policies this year.
Let's get to our top stories this morning. Officials in Hawaii investigating after a body was discovered in the wheel well of a United Airlines plane. The Boeing 787 flew from Chicago to Maui on Christmas Eve, arriving just on time Tuesday afternoon. Officials say it's unclear, though, how or when that person entered the wheel well, but it added it's only accessible from the outside of the plane. The FAA says hiding in the wheel well, that is the most common method used by stowaways, but more than 77% that attempt it don't survive the journey.
An eye drops product is being recalled over a potential contamination. The FDA announced the recall on one lot of Sustain lubricant eye drops Ultra PF. The lot number is 10101 for single vials of the on-the-go 25-count Sustain eye drops. It comes after concerns of a potential fungal contamination that could threaten your vision. The FDA says the recall was issued after a consumer noticed a foreign material inside a sealed single-use vial.
Frightening moments in California this week. 3 people falling into the ocean when a part of a popular tourist spot in Santa Cruz collapsed right into the sea. The city's municipal wharf collapsing during heavy surf. Lifeguards at that area were able to pull 2 people from the water. The third person was able to get out on their own. The end of that wharf was under repair after being damaged earlier by storms. After the Christmas holiday, a lot of people have some returns on their to-do list.
Right, and consumer reporter John Matarese looks at how to make returning merchandise as simple as possible so you don't waste your money.
So you have all the gifts. Now comes the after Christmas return frenzy. And when it comes to returns, every store has a different policy. So pay close attention to those return deadlines. Returns after December 25th are inevitable, but they don't have to be stressful.
Most places even say they don't even need a receipt anymore.
All the returns have been very easy. Around the winter holidays, retailers expect their return rates to climb an extra 17% on average. That's according to the National Retail Federation. There's good news for consumers, though.
A lot of retailers extend their return policies around the holidays.
Samantha Gordon with Consumer Reports says most chains extend return windows into January. However, no policy looks exactly the same.
Target might have a different return window than Best Buy, than Walmart, than Amazon.
If you're planning to make returns, check store websites for their specific dates. We did some of the work for you. Apple allows eligible holiday purchases to be returned through January 8th. Best Buy, January 14th. Lululemon, January 23rd. Amazon, Macy's, Kohl's, and Walmart all have extended deadlines through January 31st for most items. When making returns, Consumer Reports recommends you don't open boxes or remove tags if possible, and keep those receipts.
But if you paid full price, the item's now on sale, and you don't have a receipt, you might only be able to get the value back for what it's currently selling for.
If you don't like juggling paper receipts, shopper Brianna Green has one last tip.
You can have them email it to you, so that's a really good way to keep up with all your stuff.
That way returns are simple and you don't waste your money. I'm John Matarese.
Well, the meltdown continues here across West Michigan. We've got some patchy fog looking out over downtown Grand Rapids. You can see it's a little on the murky side. And in areas north of Grand Rapids, we've got temperatures that are still at or below freezing. And as a result, we've got some freezing mist, freezing drizzle that's being reported. So a winter weather advisory issued from the Montcalm County areas off to the north and east. This likely will be an issue where it won't be impacting most areas, most locations, because temperatures are going to be warming up pretty quickly. However, with temperatures that are pretty close to or just a little bit below the freezing mark right now, certainly won't be impossible to have a few slippery spots here and there. So watch out if you're traveling around in those areas north of I-96. Otherwise, patchy fog and drizzle. The meltdown continues. That is the big weather headline for the next couple of days as we continue to lose any lingering piles and patches of snow that are still out there, with temperatures up into the low 40s today, mid 40s tomorrow. We're going to flirt with 50 degrees by Saturday. The pattern, though, begins to break down starting New Year's Day, bringing us back into the potential for some scattered lake effect snow showers and high temps back in the 30s. So we've got some very warm air over the next several days, but finally an end to this unseasonably warm weather pattern is going to be in sight for us. So overall, a little bit of light drizzle here and there. Areas to the north and northeast of Grand Rapids, it is that freezing mist and freezing drizzle. Otherwise, as you can see here off to our south, there is a lot of rain indicated on the radar scans. And as we look at the future track, that is the direction that our area is going to be coming from over the next couple of days. And that's why we're fully expecting scattered rain showers to come through. Not a complete washout, but there will be intervals of rain that will come through. This occurring overnight tonight into early tomorrow morning. We should start the day dry tomorrow, but more rain will be arriving during the afternoon and early evening hours. In fact, we could be looking at some periods of of light to moderate rain, perhaps as much as 1/10 of an inch to even 1/4 of an inch of rain coming through. And as that clears out, we'll be dry for much of the weekend, it appears, with temperatures continuing to warm up. Low 40s for highs today, mid 40s tomorrow. 50 on Saturday. Not impossible to see a stray shower, but I do think most of our weekend is going to be dry here. An isolated shower, not impossible Saturday into early Sunday, but boy, the big story is that warmer air settling in. By Monday, we start to cool down just a little bit. Monday should be a dry day with highs in the low 40s. Upper 30s for highs Wednesday, on Tuesday. Wednesday, mid 30s for highs, and we could be looking at a few snow showers starting to develop on New Year's Day as well. And then the pattern continues to shift. The really warm air starting to settle across the west and southwestern part of the United States. This is the temperature outlook for the first full week of January. Colder than average from the Ohio and Tennessee River valleys down toward the southeastern United States. And here in the Great Lakes region, it looks like for that first full week of January, our temperature should be closer to average, low to mid 30s, and that should be enough to at least bring us some intervals of snow. No major storms are on the horizon, but at least we should see some pockets of snow here and there with any precipitation that does end up coming through.